live stream got a great question from a YouTube community member saying the RSI on the 8 hour is so low right now, right? And it is. And it's gone down so fast that it just doesn't look like price can go back below 18.6. And this was recorded on the day that the FTX exchange with the FTT token and Binance buying it, all that stuff kind of melted crypto down to a moderate degree, right? Of November 8th. That's the context for future Tillians watching this. So RSI being really low, does it mean price can't go lower? Is roughly the question. And how do I make my brain stop making, it's actually what he asked. He kind of insinuated, I know it can go lower, but how can I tell my brain that? And I'm going to approach that in two ways. The first way might not be applicable to all cases where you have that feeling, because in this case, I was able to look left, and there are plenty of other instances where it went lower. So what's going to happen is I'm going to mark off a ton of other instances of really low 8-hour RSI, and it's going to create a band. Almost like a plotted, graph or whatever. It's going to make plots, but almost like, light photons bouncing. It's going to create, it's going to create a band. And now we're going to be able to compare where RSI is now compared to how low it has been. So where is RSI now? It's well above that. So even with that, without changing anything of how you think of RSI, it can go lower, bro, right? Just obviously. But there are a lot of cases where it like the weekly, I think, is at an all-time low, right? The weekly RSI on Bitcoin, I think, has never been lower. So how could price keep going lower? That's the second part of this. So let's say the 8-hour RSI did make an all-time low. Here is a basic rule of thumb, and then I'll explain it with the chart so you can lock it in visually. But remember the rule of thumb I'm about to say. The low of price is almost always a higher low on RSI. Make sense? So the question had to do with how could price go below 18.6 when the 8-hour RSI is already this low? Well, let's say it is the low. And again, I'm going to show you this. Okay, maybe you're right. This can't go lower, but price can, because the bottom of price happens when it bounces, when RSI bounces and makes a higher low. That's a lower low in price. I could take Bitcoin all the way down to like 16.2. Make sense? That's how. So that one line of thinking, the low of RSI. Oh, okay. Lock it in like another way to lock it in. You know how on my channel I stress a lot, the bottom of altcoins in a bear market is not the same as Bitcoin's bottom. Rather, it's more usually on Bitcoin's macro higher low. Altcoin makes their ultimate low when Bitcoin makes a macro higher low. So replace Bitcoin with RSI and then price with, price. Just keep price with price. Same concept. I think it might be best to show, so I didn't plan this, but it'll be easy to wing. So for example, I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart right here. So from here to here, you had a big move. You had the top of a move on price, and here is the low on RSI. So here's the top of RSI. Here, let's make it one color. Let's make the RSI highs and lows orange. And then I'm going to put a different color where I think the ultimate lows and highs of price were. I can't tell where the high of price would have been on this. I'm gonna guess right there. And I'm gonna make a maybe guess for the high end price here. This might have been the highest high end price. It has a chance. It's kind of like a 30% chance. It didn't quite break into the green zone, but the speed with which it went up, it might have. It's probably a lower high, but this could have been. Yeah, I'll take that off. I think the highest price was here. But the low of price was either at this point or this point. I'm going to guess that one. So now I'll put a red line there. Green and red for price, orange and orange for the top and bottom of RSI. Red. And this doesn't look very green, does it? Green. Now it looks green. Even though this was the top of RSI, I think this green line was the top of price. Even though this was the bottom of RSI, I think this was the bottom of price during this move. Let's go see how I did. I don't really know, but I am really comfortable with reading the 4-hour RSI and knowing almost exactly what price did. This one's a tricky one because how it interacted with the green line here and here. So I might get this one wrong. It actually might have been here, but this one I might be wrong, but this one I feel pretty certain about. That's how. It can go lower. 18.6 does not need to hold just because the 8-hour RSI. I almost fucking nailed that. I was off by one candle each. There and right there. Boom. This was the bottom of RSI. This was the top of RSI. I got the top and the bottom. So that means that after you enter the green zone on a time frame on the RSI that I use, and if you want to know which one that is, I have a free tutorial on how to set up your chart. And it's tagged. So if you want to go straight to that, that's fine. To learn how to do that. But once it gets into the green zone, the same thing is true, but inverse of what we're talking about. The highest high-end price is almost after the green zone's hit. More than just a rejection, like, more than this. So it's got to get up a little bit, like, yeah, maybe about as far as this did. But once price obviously penetrates the green zone at any time frame, it's extremely likely that that's not the high-end price. Because either RSI will continue going higher, which makes price go higher too, or it starts a downtrend, makes a lower high, but that's still a higher high-end price, your first strike of bearish divergence. Make sense? But its punch into the green zone is almost, it's not never, but it's almost never the height and price as well. All right. Hopefully, yeah, I think I did a pretty good job giving a compelling case there, especially for that second reason.